Good morning. You're in the Golf R. So as you saw, I got a Golf R and we're kind of like jumping around, but I had the opportunity to go to Lime Rock and set a base time with the Golf R today on the stock tires, stock wheels, just as it was when I purchased it with 54,000 miles, 50,000 miles. So Hoonigan guys are with us. They gave us the opportunity to run on the FCP Proving Grounds, I believe it's called. So we're all heading out and I'm gonna get a baseline for the Golf R. So after it's swapped, which I don't even know if you know that at this point, but after it's swapped and it has wheels and tires and brakes, I can go back and try to beat my time. It kind of makes sense, I think. So we'll get some footage of that. Rudnick's coming in the M2. We'll try to push him around the track and we'll see how a stock Golf R can do. That autocross, the FCP Euro Proving Grounds, I think this thing is going to shine, and a car like Grant's and Rudnick's are just going to be too much. That's my theory. I'll put it in here now. I do have trash tires, so, and they don't. They've all got Michelin's. So basically, we're gonna see, because the all-wheel drive can only save me so much, you know. Anyway, let's get to it. We gotta get gas. All right, boys. So we're here, and we had a fun little run. I got to feel the Golf R on some of the back roads, some of my favorite back roads. And I'll tell you what, Vin from Hoonigan, he's got my respect because he shredded with us when in Grant's car, when Grant would have dropped back and pussyfooted around. Vin just shredded with us. And when I hop out of the car, we'll see what he thought of our run. We're just cruising our normal roads, but I guess he's not used to them. So we'll see how he feels about the run. I like you.
Dude, those roads are sick.
Grant wouldn't even have kept up with us. Every time we do that, Grant just drops back.
The only reason I wanted to drop back is I was like, how do cars still have paint on?
Yeah, it's just like this time of year.
So bad.
It goes away.
Yeah, I just started to accept it after a while. We do it too many times.
I kept falling back, so I'm like, oh God, would Grant do this?
No, Grant doesn't.
No, he won't, but it's not because of rocks, because he's scared.
Driving.
Dude, this thing has so much grip.
It's wild.
And it's wild because I have a E90 where it's like NA, and you
Yeah.
just have to rev the piss out of it. This, you just sit at like 4,000 RPM.
And just get ready.
Work all the way.
Yeah.
Cheating.
They're
So
cheater
wild.
cars.
Yeah, this thing's sick.
I can't believe the Golf R though. Like, I haven't really gotten to drive it. It shreds.
Those are also, they don't look like the sickest tires.
They're the worst tires.
He was cooking.
Hitting it.
Golf R did phenomenal. Little soft, I'll be honest. The STI was kind of the MVP for the grip side of this. But I've got a new respect for the old Golf Rs. Should I show you something? I'm gonna show you something just in case I need to show you something. I didn't mention anything about this, but let's throw some foreshadowing in this game. One came out, one Alex built. We're gonna go to the shop, introduce you to Alex, see what you think.
You want?
I forgot.
Spot, right?
Look at this. That's it. So when we doing this?
So we're gonna put that and that, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
We got the RS3, we got the brakes, we got everything.
You've been hiding it.
We've been hiding. So we come out. So the next video you see about the Golf R will be at Alex's shop. We'll go through everything. We'll talk about everything, all the technicalities, and we'll see what it does. Okay, boys, today is the day. We are going to bring the RS3 to its final resting place. We're gonna rip a bunch of shit off of it, and we're gonna bring the Golf R as well. And the next time I see these two vehicles, I'm gonna send Murr down there, because I don't want to see it go down. I had the opportunity to drive one recently, and I didn't do that because I want mine to be the first one I drive. So, Audi RS3, Meet Golf R. This color's really growing on me. I'm like all the Stance boys 6 years ago. I like Nardo Gray. How about you?
Nardo Gray? Sick, dude.
It's like cool, but it got so played out. We're going to a special place, and I get to tell the story about how this happened. It's actually a pretty interesting story about how I came upon buying a Golf R and buying a Crash RS3. So we got a little bit of a ride, and we'll reintroduce you to Alex, and we'll talk about how him and I met, and we'll talk about the whole process. Here we are at Innovative Motorsports. Look at her. Good afternoon. So we're here at Innovative Motorsports with Alex, the owner, and I want to give some background because I've been dying to tell this story because it's just, I think it's funny, and Grant's here too. We just filmed a video about another RS3 we bought that's fucked. So the timeline might be weird, but this makes the most sense. At this point, how long ago was it we were in Florida? 2 months, month and a half?
Yeah, probably a month and a half.
Right, yeah, mid-January.
Yeah.
I went to Florida and I drove Colette's TTRS.
Yep.
And in that video, like you just saw in the last video, I said if this came in a Golf R, I would own one. And then I got a DM from you and it said, hey, I mean, I don't remember what it said, but it was basically, we do that.
Yeah.
So I got asked for his number and I called him and I was asking him a bunch of questions about it. At that point, I'd say I was like 20% interested.
Yeah.
Because it's a pricey ordeal. And at one point in the conversation, either I asked you or you told me that you're 45 minutes away from the shop, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And basically, you're the, I mean, is it safe to say you're the only people in the country? Have other people done it anywhere else?
So we're the only shop
Okay.
in the country that
So
produces
privateer people have done it,
Yeah, but they haven't got it to run the way we've got it to run.
like as OEM.
Yeah, no, or all OEM, no lights, no nothing on the dash.
And theirs are all kind of like that.
Yeah.
Lights. Does that hurt anywhere else in the performance side of it?
So it actually pulls torque out of the
That's
car.
what I assumed.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, after that conversation, I bought a Golf R like a week later.
Yeah.
And then we went on the hunt for an RS3. We bought two RS3s, one for me, one for Connor. His is a totally different story. But mine came from Copart and is, in the crash car world, a 10.
Yeah.
It's a 10.
It runs, it drives.
Interior is beautiful. No airbags popped.
No airbags popped.
Low miles.
Yeah, low miles.
This car was rolled. The A-pillar. Can we uncover it? You're not gonna put it back outside, right?
No.
Here, I'll get out of here.
The A-pillar literally caved in. So this didn't cause a curtain airbag or anything to go off.
No, take a look in there.
I believe you. I mean, I've driven it. I didn't see any, but it just is that. How does that make you feel? I mean, I guess it doesn't need it.
Safe at all.
Yeah, I mean, no one got hurt, so it really didn't need it. But my Z popped the fucking airbag from hitting the tire on something.
Yeah.
So, Mur, do some like B-roll of this thing in here.
Do you think it rolled? Like I don't. Because
The
there's a
car?
look back here. There's a tire mark.
So what do you?
I don't.
Something.
I-
Look at
yeah.
how deep this
Could have hit a
is.
semi.
Yeah, it could've
Hit
been
the semi wheel and it pulled the front end in.
Yeah.
Either way, an airbag didn't
It
go
hit
off.
something high because it only hit
Yeah,
the
this
top
is
of
a
the
semi.
mirror.
This to me is a semi-trailer height.
Yeah.
So there's no airbag sensors up there.
Yeah.
So it didn't.
So it makes sense.
Yeah.
That might have caused a
There is an airbag
ruckus.
sensor literally right here.
Just wasn't enough.
Yeah. It just wasn't enough.
So this car is perfect, and if you didn't pick up on it by now, and I didn't say it clear enough, we are Daza swapping the Golf R, and you're the only people who really do it as successfully as you do. What is all included? Like, what do you use in the Golf R?
So you get motor, trans, rear end, OEM ECU, harness, and all the software stuff. So
Axles, brakes,
axles, brakes,
front rear seats,
Yep.
steering
If you
wheel.
want it, yeah.
I do.
If you want it, yeah.
Right. So basically, the Golf R just becomes an RS3, just a small
In a
RS3
cooler body.
in a cooler body. I agree. Like Grant likes these.
I like these.
They're all right in like colors like this. They look a lot better, but in like just a black, you can't tell this from an A4 when it goes by you. You know what I
The amount of
mean?
money you're gonna
Yeah.
spend on this, It's not as cool as the Golf R.
Agreed. Yeah.
And then the Golf R comes out to around the price of a used RS3 at the end of the day?
A brand new Golf R comes out to the price of a used RS3.
No, I'm saying with the swap.
Oh, yes.
Full swap done, you come out to like around the price of a used RS3.
Yeah.
Maybe even a little cheaper if you get a good car.
Yeah.
So let's pop the hood and go over what's better and all that shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so 5-cylinder, 2.5 liter.
Correct. Turbo.
Turbo. Big-ish turbo.
Big-ish turbo. From the factory. It's pretty wild.
How much power can you push out of these E85, push to the max on that turbo, like all the boost?
So E85, kind of at the sketchy level, you're right under 600 horsepower.
And that's max, that's all, that's
Max,
the turbo's
all in
done.
Yeah.
And
Stock turbo.
And what is the failure point at that point?
The rods.
Okay.
So some of these motors, like everyone says you either get a good one or you get a bad one. The bad ones, basically there's casting defects in the rods themselves. So the rods don't fail, you basically find the defect and the rod will snap.
Okay.
So once you get cylinder pressures up, you put more pressures through the rods itself, something fails and it shoots it right through the block.
Okay, and then what can you safely make on this?
500.
On pump?
Pump, yeah.
And then what can you safely make on E? Is it still 500?
Yeah, right around.
That's a max.
It's a torque number, right? It's going to make like 400, 420 foot-pounds, and then you're kind of around there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's a 7-speed versus 6-speed.
Yep.
What's different about the diff?
So in the rear, you get more clutches. So the rear end is actually stronger. It bites harder than your Golf R diff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you can tune that all-wheel drive system to do what?
To basically engage more of the rear end. So if you launch or you go through the turns hard, you can put more power to the rear and get the car to rotate more.
Okay, so it becomes what, 50-50?
50-50, that's pretty much a max.
That's a max you can do.
50-50, yeah.
And these are like front wheel drive bias, like the way, and they're mounted like a front wheel drive car, as opposed to whatever, I forget what they say.
The transmission in this car is kind of like
longitudinal.
Transverse.
Yeah, exactly. The transmission in this car is kind of like the crown jewel. This thing is no joke. Even stock trans, you don't mess with anything at all. You make 1,000 horsepower on this.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, like,
bill of gears, that's nothing.
like my Golf R is like pretty quick right now.
Yeah.
How much power do you think my Golf R is making right now?
Right around 300.
Okay.
Around there.
And then what does this make stock?
400 stock.
400 flywheel stock.
No, to the wheels.
They make 400 to the wheel stock.
395.
And my car makes 300 to the wheels.
Yeah. With the tune on it. So you already have a tune on it
Right.
as well.
And it feels good. It's a fun car to drive. Like, it won't smoke anyone, but it's like the minimum you'd want out of a new car to not be boring. So we're going to add, and then we're going to go to 5. So we're going to add almost...
It's like 150, 200 horsepower, somewhere around there.
Right.
But the thing is, if you ever look at a graph of a Golf R, you come up hard.
And then they kind of fall off.
It just falls really bad. This thing will freight train to the end.
Okay, and then what quarter mile? I mean, have you guys tested any of that stuff?
Not on stock. With the tune and everything on it, you'll be in the 10s.
With this swap?
Yeah.
And what do you think my Golf runs right now?
11 something.
My Golf right now?
Yeah, 11.9, somewhere around
Really?
there. Yeah.
Oh, just because the launch is good. I mean, it feels that good, and it's all-wheel drive.
We were messing around the other night too, and you were obviously hammering me off the line,
Right.
And then I was just playing catch up the whole time,
Right.
with 80 because he has traction, I don't have traction.
That's true.
So after you do the swap, you don't have traction anymore.
Really? From the front wheels?
From all. You'll spin the
Really?
rear wheels in this thing, no problem.
No shit.
Yeah.
So it'll run 10s with the Daza swap, tuned like bolt on.
So some of these, I think the record right now is like 9.6 or something like that. Stock block, stock turbo, just reduce weight in these cars.
Is the guy ready to blow the engine at that? Yeah.
Yeah, you're taking a chance. But still, it shows you that in this weight car, you could be in the 9s.
How much heavier is this car than the Golf R?
I think it's like about 300 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not like crazy, but enough to be fun.
Actually, it's more than the RCs. I think it's about 300 more than a TTRS. And a TTRS is 400 less than an RS3. So it's probably about 500 to 700 pounds less than this car.
The Golf R.
The Golf R.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's gonna be a big difference. It's gonna be a major difference.
I'm excited. So one thing we're taking the brakes. These are massive floating rotors, and what is it? 6-piston? 8-piston caliper, and then the rear brakes are the same as the Golf R.
Golf R, yeah.
Okay, and then we're taking the seats, which I'll show.
I think that might be the best part of the car.
The seats are sick. Seats and steering wheel.
Steering wheel too, yeah.
These seats are sick, and they're fully manual, which I like.
Yes.
We're gonna try the door panels.
I want to try them. They might fit.
I would love to do the dash, but you said the dash is probably a different shape.
Different shape, yeah.
The dash is the best part. So steering wheel, what's better about the steering wheel?
So you get the Alcantara, you get a couple more buttons on it. It's just a better feeling.
And all that will work.
Yeah, all that will work.
Dang. So basically, this is where my Golf R and the RS3 is gonna live for the next, how long, 3 weeks?
3 to 4 weeks, somewhere around
Yeah.
there.
And in that time, swapping and stuff is quick, wiring and fabrication, because you're gonna, does it need fabrication if you just wanted to go stock? Like, could this stuff fit in the Golf R?
So you have to mess with the downpipe a little bit, and then it will go in. You can put a factory downpipe.
But you wouldn't be able to make those numbers.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to make those.
You'd heat soak.
You pick up a ton of power from the downpipe in this car.
No shit.
A ton of power, yeah.
Okay.
And then the intercooler, because you're going further in, of course, you want an intercooler, right? It's going to heat soak really, really quick.
Right.
With a small intercooler.
So those are the two longest, and then you're gonna make the RS3 exhaust or muffler fit on the Golf
With
R.
working flaps.
That's sick.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to go like quiet.
If you put the car in sport, the thing's going to roar, and then you put it back in the drive, it's just going to quiet down.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Yeah.
That is so cool. So what's proprietary to you that makes you the only person that can do this?
So we've developed software with a company that has basically made it that everything works in the car. There's no lights on the dash, no EPC light, no nothing at all. So everything works the way it should.
Is this 50 state legal?
Yeah, 50 state legal. So
California boys.
Yes.
Wow. If you don't think that's a huge win, you're sleeping. All right, I'm leaving the Golf and the RS3, but first I want to show you this super rare color. How many of these exist? 2 ever made in the US or total? Color's kind of gangster. See you, Golf R.